Now, in an era marked by rapid changes in technologies like automation, robotics, artificial intelligence, how will it shape how we work, where we work, and the skills that we will need in the future? Joining us tonight to look at the future of work, David Mindell. He's the CEO of a technology company, Humatics, and a professor of engineering and manufacturing at MIT. Mark Hamrick is senior economic analyst with Bankrate.com with their views. Mark, I'm going to start with you, and I'm going to set technology aside for a moment and look at demographics. I know you're interested in that. Since the financial crisis, a lot of older workers have found themselves out of a job replaced by younger, cheaper workers. But we have a very tight labor market right now. Does that help the older worker in the future? What do you think?
Well, I think, we have greater longevity in this country, and that's the good news and the bad news. Leaving aside the question of whether their prospective retirements are well funded, those older workers are going to be a great potential resource for enterprises in the future. There will be competition between younger entrants in the workforce and the older workers. And of course, we know that the baby boomers, as they're currently retiring, are being replaced by less expensive workers, and that feeds into a whole other set of dynamics.
Yeah, it certainly does. And David, there's also the thought out here, I don't know how many times I've heard this, that the workers of today and the workers of tomorrow will eventually be replaced by robots or some other sort of machine type technology that can do the job. But you make the point that we might not be replaced, but the work experience might kind of be augmented by these machines and by these robots.
Yeah, I think that's correct. There's been fears for a long time, centuries, that people have been replaced by machines, and in certain tasks they are. In the economy overall, often automation or mechanization or roboticization creates new tasks, and people are very flexible, very able to take on those tasks. And increasingly, we're understanding how to use AI and machine learning and artificial intelligence to make robots more collaborative and make them better able to work alongside people. And that's a huge new frontier.
David, Jeff Bezos loves artificial intelligence. He employs it with his Echo device. But Elon Musk fears artificial intelligence. Where do you stand?
Well, I think, artificial intelligence is displaying a lot of promise. It's still very heavily dependent on data. It's still very dependent on human labor to tune it and fine-tune it for particular purposes. It's very good at focused tasks that we understand pretty well. It's not quite yet there where it's able to do something entirely new and explain to you why it did it.
Mark, can I turn to you on the whole focus, and it kind of dovetails with what Bill was just talking about, the divide about whether or not artificial intelligence and robotics are going to be net good or bad. But the one thing that people seem to really focus on is the need for further education on many different levels so that you can deal with AI, deal with robots, and also deal with the hands-on manufacturing that has to be done.
Yeah, that's clearly a challenge and an opportunity. These emerging technologies, I think we sometimes don't sufficiently appreciate the disruptive nature of them. So while we might say that on balance, technological advancement is a very good thing, in the near term, it causes tremendous disruption, which presents itself into the political process. And I would dare say that I think that is one of the biggest wild cards for the future. Where do societies and countries end up dealing with policy to help the people who are displaced? And in the earlier package, one of the answers is not requiring everyone to attend 4 years of college or universities, for example.
Right. Before we let you go, gentlemen, and Mark, I'll start with you. If you had to pick an industry, you're telling a college graduate, this is where the growth is for working in the future, where would you tell them to go?
Well, healthcare will account for about 1/3 of the service sector jobs that we see in the future. Again, going back to that aging population, there will be no doubt technological improvements which supplant some of that labor, but you'll still need humans to carry out those processes. So about both the low skill and the high skill aspects of healthcare, those jobs will be needed.
David?
I'd say any area where you have people that require an interface to a complex technology, that's always a place. It's in healthcare, it's in lots of other systems. We're always going to need people to help interface to other people.
All right, David Mindell of Humatics and MIT, Mark Hamrick with Bankrate. Thank you both. Very interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you.